What is a fork? A fork is a change in an ideal protocol. That's the rules determining the format and transition of a set data. What are protocols? Let's use Bitcoin or Ethereum as an illustration. These digital currencies both have protocols that users must follow in order to use them. The set of regulations that control Bitcoins are referred to as the Bitcoin protocols, and anyone wishing to use Bitcoin must take all reasonable steps to comply with them. Transaction costs, mining payouts, block size, and other parameters are examples of protocols. Developers and the community must come to an understanding regarding these protocols in order for them to be effective. Participants must also be aware that they must accept these protocols in order to participate. Hard fork. Hard fork is a fundamental change in protocol that makes the old protocol invalid and incompatible. Soft fork, on the other hand, is a change in protocol that is backward compatible to the old protocol, and the old protocol acknowledges the new protocol though the old protocol will no longer function. We have heard a couple of these forks happening to Bitcoin, and through Bitcoin forks, we have had Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, etc., forked from Bitcoin. What basically happens during a fork is that the Bitcoin network is an open source, just like Ethereum, and that the network is controlled by a community of developers. Because it is a community of developers with different ideas, development of these networks and its updates are endless. To able to push updates on the network or increase in transaction fees or block size, the community needs to collaborate to agree to this new update in order to push it on the network. So in a situation where some people in the community disagree with certain changes, it split the community of developers into two, and in that case, they need to fork the network in order to settle the issues of disagreement. Don't forget the Bitcoin or Ethereum protocol is different from the blockchain. In order for Bitcoin to work perfectly on the blockchain, it needs to have its own protocols to be able to work on the blockchain, likewise Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies. During a fork, new protocols emerge, like miners' reward changes, block size as well as a split in blockchain, so before the fork goes live on the blockchain, a time is scheduled and as to when the new update will go live. In a situation of a hard fork, a new protocol is born under the old and it comes to stand out as its own. An example is how Bitcoin Cash was born out of Bitcoin. The community had to split, and based on how they wanted to implement this new update, on the Bitcoin it is working independently now as its own, because the community failed to come to a consensus. In a situation of soft fork though, there is a split in blockchain, but the community does not split up. The old chain recognizes the new chain, though the old blocks will be invalid from then, it is still part of the network, and both the old and the new acknowledges each other. So, in that case, the new block is compatible with the old block. Forks are further classified as planned and unplanned. During hard forks, for example, if you had 100 Bitcoins and the fork occurred based on where you store your Bitcoins, you would get Bitcoin Cash instead of Bitcoin. Regardless of whether the wallet or exchange supports the fork, you will receive exactly 100 Bitcoin Cash. If your wallet or exchange did not support the fork, your coins will remain unchanged unless you transfer it to a fork-compatible wallet or exchange before receiving this new digital currency. It is in the best interests of an exchange or wallet provider to support a fork or not, but in the case of a hard fork, if the wallet/exchange supported the fork, you will receive the new currency that will be created after the fork. Normally, the new cryptocurrency that emerges from the fork has its price agreed upon and priced. Hard forks can be good or bad depending on your perspective or the angle you look at it from, and this will be determined by the community or individuals.